Have you ever looked around and wondered, how is that guy ahead of me? He's not even better than me. You've seen it happen. Someone who isn't as smart as you, not as skilled, not as disciplined, and yet they're winning. They're getting noticed, and they're taking the opportunities you were waiting for. It feels unfair, but it's not luck. It's not talent. It's certainty. They speak without fear. They move without hesitation. They walk into rooms like they belong there. And the world responds to that, because the world doesn't reward the best. It rewards those who look like they already deserve it. Now look at you. You're better. You're smarter. You're more capable. But you hesitate. You overthink. You're waiting for the right time, the perfect moment, the perfect words. You tell yourself, I just need to be ready. I just need to improve a little more. And while you wait, someone else moves. They speak up first. They take the spot. They claim what could have been yours. That's the truth most won't say out loud. Being better is useless if you stay silent. Being talented means nothing if you don't act. Because in life, power doesn't go to the most deserving. It goes to the most visible, to those who take up space, who speak clearly, who walk with confidence. They don't wait for permission. They act like they already have it. And even if they're not the best, people believe they are. Meanwhile, the man who waits, who overthinks, who doubts himself, loses. Not because he isn't good enough, but because no one gets to see it. So remember this, the weaker ones are winning, not because they're stronger, but because they act like they are. And until you do the same, you will keep losing battles you should have won. 2, confidence is a weapon. Confidence isn't magic. It's not something you're born with. It's not reserved for a lucky few. Confidence is a choice, a tool, a weapon. And just like a sword, you either carry it or you get cut by someone who does. In life, confidence often matters more than talent. You can be smart, skilled, hardworking, but if you don't show it, if you speak softly, if you move like you're unsure, the world will treat you like you don't matter. Look around. You'll see people rising faster than you. They don't have your experience. They don't have your depth, but they speak boldly. They walk with purpose. They act like they know what they're doing, even when they don't. And guess what? The world believes them, because confidence creates perception, and perception becomes reality. Even hundreds of years ago, Machiavelli understood this. 3, this is your turning point. Let's be clear. This isn't just another feel-good video. It's not here to make you smile for 5 minutes and forget it tomorrow. It's not here to boost your mood for a moment and leave you unchanged. This is not motivation, it's transformation. This is the part where everything shifts. This is where the old version of you, the one who hesitates, who doubts, who stays silent, gets left behind. Because from this moment forward, you're no longer playing small. You're going to learn things most people never do. How to erase fear from your voice and your mind. How to speak with power, even when you're unsure inside. How to walk, talk, and move like someone who expects respect, not someone who hopes for it, not someday. Now there's a line in the sand. Behind it, your past, filled with hesitation, doubt, and missed chances. In front of it, a new path, one built on action, presence, and power. And all it takes to cross that line is a decision. From now on, you don't wait to be chosen. You don't wait to be invited. You don't ask for permission. You take space. You own the room. You show up like someone who deserves to be there. Because you do. From this moment forward, weakness is not allowed. Not in your voice, not in your body language, not in your mind. You're done playing the background role in your own story. This is your turning point. Don't go back. He said it clearly. The bold move ahead, even without skill. The hesitant stay behind, even with great talent. It's not fair, but it's true. You might be more capable than those around you. But if you hesitate, if you stay silent, if you second-guess every step, then you've already lost. Because in this world, power doesn't go to the best. It goes to the one who looks sure of himself, the one who acts like a leader, even before he becomes one. So here's the harsh truth. If you don't use your confidence, someone else will use theirs to push you down. If you don't speak up, someone else will speak over you. If you don't act like you belong, you'll be treated like an outsider. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's not pretending to be perfect. It's choosing to stand tall even when you're unsure. It's deciding to move forward even when you're afraid. So carry it, use it, sharpen it like a blade. Because in this world, confidence isn't just a trait, it's survival. 4. You were trained to be weak. Let's get one thing straight. You were not born weak. You didn't come into this world afraid to speak, afraid to lead, afraid to be seen. No child is born asking for permission to be themselves. You were born loud, curious, fearless. But over time, they trained that out of you. You were trained to obey, to sit still, to be polite, to stay quiet when you had something to say. You were trained to seek approval, to make sure others are comfortable even when you're uncomfortable inside. You were trained to constantly ask, is this okay? Do I have permission? Am I allowed to take space? And little by little, they turned your power into silence. Right now, whether you admit it or not, there's a servant living inside you. Not a warrior, not a leader, a servant. One who is scared to speak up, even when they're right. Scared to lead, even when they know the way. Scared to be seen, even when they want to be noticed. That fearful voice inside, that's not your true self. That's the version of you that was trained to stay small. But here's the truth you need to face. If you don't kill that old version, it will kill your future. It will hold you back from the relationships you want, the success you deserve, the respect you've earned. Because no one can respect someone who doesn't respect themselves. So today you need to choose. Keep listening to the voice of fear and live a small life. Or shut that voice down, stand tall, and take back what was always yours. Your voice, your space, your power. You weren't born soft. You were trained to be. But training can be unlearned, and weakness can be replaced with strength, with presence, with fire. And that starts now. 5. Act like a ruler, not a follower. Power is not something you ask for. It's something you take. Look at people like Machiavelli. He didn't wait for others to approve of him. He didn't try to be liked. He didn't beg for attention. He acted like a ruler, and others followed. If you want to be respected, you have to stop acting like a follower. Followers wait to be chosen. Rulers walk in like they already belong. From now on, here's your rule. Every time you feel like hiding, stand taller. Push your shoulders back. Lift your chin. Make eye contact. Even if you're nervous inside. Why? Because your body speaks before your words do. Every time you feel like explaining yourself, go silent. Not everyone deserves an explanation. If you always explain yourself, you look like you're guilty or like you're begging to be understood. But silence? Silence shows control. Every time you want to say sorry, hold your stare. Don't apologize for taking space. Don't apologize for having standards. Don't apologize for being bold. There's a time for saying sorry, but most people overuse it until it becomes weakness. You don't need to shrink to make others feel big. This is how confidence is built. Not with words, but with presence, with posture, with calm. Act like a ruler, even if you don't feel like one yet. Because the world treats you based on how you treat yourself. If you act like a leader, they'll follow. If you act like a follower, they'll ignore you. It's that simple. 6. Confidence is an identity. Let's clear something up. Confidence is not a feeling. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's not about waiting for the fear to disappear. And it's not about being perfect. Confidence is something much deeper. It's an identity. You become confident the moment you stop trying to earn it. The moment you stop asking the world, do you think I'm good enough? Do I deserve this? Is it okay if I win? Real confidence says, I already belong here. I already deserve this. I already am this. So from now on, walk like you belong in every room, even if no one knows your name yet, even if you're the quietest one there. You don't need permission to exist. You walk with purpose, and people feel it. Speak like your words are law, not loud, not arrogant, just clear, calm, and firm. like someone who means every word they say. No over-explaining, no begging to be understood. Just truth, with weight behind it. Move like you already won. Your actions should say, I know where I'm going. I don't chase, I choose. People can feel when you carry that energy. You stop chasing approval, you stop trying to impress. And ironically, that's when everyone starts noticing you. Confidence isn't something you switch on before a big moment. It's something you wear every day, like skin, like armor. It's not a mindset you practice. It's who you are once you finally stop pretending and start living like the version of you your weaker self is afraid to become. Not when you're ready, not when you get approval, but now, because confidence isn't given, it's claimed. 7. Nice men get used. Since you were young, the world told you, be nice, be polite, be agreeable. They made you believe that being a good man means always being available, always saying yes, always keeping the peace, even when it hurts you. But here's the brutal truth. Nice men get used. They become tools, useful for a moment, then forgotten, then replaced. Because when you're too nice, people don't value your time. They walk over your boundaries. They see your kindness as weakness. And slowly, you start disappearing into the background of your own life. Let this be your wake-up call. The world does not reward nice. It rewards strength. But strength doesn't mean being rude. It doesn't mean shouting or bullying. It means becoming something more powerful. Cold, not emotional in the face of pressure. Calm, no need to prove anything. In control of your words, your time, and your energy. Powerful men are not loud. They are sharp, precise, dangerous, but disciplined. They speak when they want to. They walk away when disrespected. They don't beg for validation because they carry their own worth. And here's what you must understand. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected. Or, if not respected, feared. Because the world listens to men who carry weight, and it forgets the ones who are too eager to please. So don't let nice be your identity. Let disciplined, powerful, and unshakable be who you are. Be kind, but with a spine. Be calm, but never passive. Be good, but never soft. Because nice men get used, but strong men get followed. 8. Presence over noise. We live in a loud world. Everyone's shouting, trying to be seen, trying to be heard, trying to be liked. But here's the truth that most people miss. Real power isn't loud. Real power is quiet. Power is when you walk into a room and people feel something shift. You didn't raise your voice. You didn't demand attention. You didn't brag or boast. But still, all eyes turn. That's not noise. That's presence. Presence is the energy that follows a man who knows who he is. It can't be faked. It can't be copied. It's built in silence, through discipline, through self-respect. You don't speak to impress. You speak when it matters. And when you do, people listen. Because your words carry weight. They sound final. Not because you're forceful, but because you're sure. You don't chase attention. You don't need to be the loudest one in the room. You don't need applause or approval. You are your own proof. Instead, you create gravity. Your presence pulls people in. Not because you begged, but because you're grounded, unmoved, focused. You don't orbit around others. The room orbits around you. Your calm becomes the center of gravity. Your silence becomes louder than their noise. This is the kind of power that can't be taken. It doesn't come from looks or money or titles. It comes from presence. And presence comes from knowing who you are and no longer needing to explain it. Let others be loud. Let them shout for attention. You speak with your energy, and that speaks louder than anything. 9. Speak like you can't be denied. Watch how most people speak. You'll notice something right away. They speak like they're asking for permission. They start their sentences with doubt. I think, maybe we should. I'm not sure, but... And when they talk, they rush, stumble, over-explain, fill the air with nervous words. It's not just weak, it sounds weak. And the world treats it that way. Here's the truth. Your voice is either a command or a question. There is no in between. And if you speak like a question, people will question you. Every time. But when you speak like a leader, everything changes. You don't rush. You don't mumble. You don't add fluff just to fill the silence. Instead, your words are slow because you're in control. Your tone is deep because you mean what you say. Your speech is calm and clear because you don't need to prove anything. Speak like your words are final, like they are facts, not suggestions. Because people don't follow the loudest voice, they follow the most certain one. Here's the key. When you finish speaking, don't rush to explain. Don't laugh nervously. Don't fill the silence. Let it sit. Let the silence do the work. Because that silence, that's where your power lives. Most people are terrified of silence. They fill it with weakness. You let it burn. Because when you speak with confidence, that silence after your words is louder than any shout. People won't interrupt. They won't question. They won't dare. Not because you force them to listen, but because your presence, tone, and silence told them, this is not up for debate. If you want power in your words, stop asking, start declaring, speak like you can't be denied, and you won't be. 10. Never defend. Redirect. One of the easiest ways to lose power is by trying too hard to defend yourself. You explain, you justify, you try to prove your point to people who don't matter, and just like that, you fall into their frame, their game, their control. Because once you start defending, you're already below them. But here's what strong, powerful people do instead. They don't explain. They don't argue. They don't react. They redirect. Someone challenges you, insults you, mocks your idea. You don't flinch. You don't take the bait. You don't start a debate to win approval. You calmly say, I disagree. Or better, that's incorrect. Then you move on. No emotion, no energy wasted, no weakness shown. Because here's the truth. You're not here to win arguments. You're here to win the game. Every time you defend yourself, you're telling the world, I need you to understand me. I need you to agree with me. But you don't. Strong men don't beg for agreement. They stay rooted in truth, even if they stand alone. They don't waste energy proving. They use their energy to keep building, keep winning. The moment you stop reacting, you become untouchable. You don't fall into their traps. You don't give them your power. You don't let small people pull you down. Remember this. Arguing is for those who want to be right. Moving in silence is for those who want to be powerful. And power is always quiet. Next time someone tries to pull you into a fight with words, don't play. Just say, that's incorrect. Then walk away. Because lions don't turn around when small dogs bark. They just keep walking. 11th, emotional control equals real power. Some men look powerful. They have the walk, the voice, the clothes, the body language of a king. But give them a little pressure, a little rejection, a little insult, and they snap. They raise their voice. Their hands shake. Their face changes. They get defensive, angry, emotional, and in that moment, everything collapses because real power was never there. That's not power. That's costume. That's decoration, a mask that falls off under fire. Now here's the truth. Power isn't about how you look. It's about how you hold yourself when everything goes wrong. It's how you act when someone disrespects you in public. You hear a lie about yourself. Life throws you a curveball with no warning. Do you panic or do you pause? Do you lash out or stay calm? Do you beg for control or stay in control? Emotional control is the difference between being a king or a slave. A king doesn't respond to every insult. He doesn't yell to prove his strength. He doesn't crumble when things don't go his way. He remains unmoved, unbothered, unshaken. Why? Because his power doesn't depend on the world. It comes from within. The man who controls his emotions, controls the room, controls the people, controls his life. Here's the mindset shift. You don't need to feel good. You need to stay in control. even when you feel bad. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes people respect you. Not your voice, not your muscles, but the calm fire that never wavers. When the world tries to break you, don't fight with emotion. Win with control. Win with silence. Win by staying grounded while everyone else breaks. That's real power. That's the man no one can touch. 12. Master your mind. Your mind is your kingdom, and like any kingdom, it needs walls, strong walls. Not everyone deserves access. Not every word deserves a reaction. Not every emotion deserves to stay. If you don't guard your mind, the world will invade it. Someone insults you, don't explode, don't take it personally, don't let them in. Instead, pause, observe. Ask yourself, why did they say that? What are they trying to get from me? Let them throw stones. You build castles with them. That's mental power. Someone compliments you? Don't melt. Don't start seeking their approval. Don't let your ego become addicted to praise. Smile. Say thank you. Then move on, unchanged. Why? Because the moment compliments control you, insults will too. Stay balanced. Stay steady. Whether they clap or criticize, you remain the same. Someone ignores you? Don't chase. Don't ask, did I do something wrong? Don't beg for attention. Instead, go silent. Go colder. Why? Because your value is not based on how others treat you. It's based on how you treat yourself. Emotional self-control is the mark of a man who leads. Mental discipline is what separates him from the rest. Most people are easy to play. Say something nice. They soften. Say something harsh. They fall apart. Ignore them. They panic. But you become psychologically unreachable. You don't just protect your mind, you command it. And when you master your mind, no one can control you. No one can shake you. No one can own you. The world may try to pull you in every direction, but your power is staying centered, focused, cold, clear. That's how leaders think. That's how warriors move. That's how kings are made. 13. Burn the need to be understood. Most people are not controlled by logic. They're controlled by emotion. And the strongest emotional trap is this: I just want them to understand me. That single need to be understood, to be accepted, to be validated. It turns powerful men into weak followers. It turns kings into servants. It turns warriors into people pleasers. Here's the truth. The world doesn't reward those who explain themselves. It rewards those who control themselves. Someone tells you you're not enough. You're wrong. You changed. And you rush to prove yourself. You start justifying, defending, over-explaining. You hand them your power, just like that. They don't respect your explanations. They see your need. They feel your weakness. And the moment they know you need to be understood, they own you. Instead, you need to burn that need inside you, completely, permanently. You don't need to be understood. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to be accepted. You speak your truth once. If they get it, fine. If they don't, still fine. You don't repeat yourself. You don't explain twice. You don't beg to be seen, because the man who doesn't need to be understood becomes impossible to manipulate. People will test you. They'll ignore you to see if you chase. They'll criticize you to see if you flinch. They'll praise you to see if you bend. Most men fail all three tests. They get emotional. They get desperate. They get hooked. But not you. You remain still. You remain centered. You remain in control. You don't chase. You don't explain. You don't react. Because your power isn't built on what others think. It's built on who you've trained yourself to become. The man who burns the need to be understood, speaks less, commands more, and wins quietly. 14. Don't fear rejection. Use it. Rejection hurts, but not because of what it is. It hurts because of what your mind makes it mean. You feel rejected and start thinking, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should have been more something. Maybe I messed it up. But here's the truth. Rejection isn't a sign of your worth. It's a sign of their vision. and where you don't fit in it. They didn't reject you because you're weak. They rejected you because you made them uncomfortable. You were too bold, too clear, too rare, too strong. And some people don't know what to do with that. So they pull away. Good. Rejection is not pain. It's data. It tells you where not to waste your energy. It shows you who cannot walk with you. And that's not a loss. It's a gift. The wrong people saying no to you is what makes space for the right ones. When someone rejects you, don't react, don't chase, don't explain, and most importantly, don't shrink. Just say, in your mind, "Thank you for showing me where to stop," and walk away with silence. Because real power doesn't beg to be accepted. It walks away quietly and becomes so strong they feel your absence more than they ever felt your presence. That's the power of disappearing with purpose. They thought they didn't need you? Perfect. Now they don't get a second chance. No comebacks, no explanations, no room in your future for people who couldn't see your value in the present. Rejection doesn't destroy strong men. It sharpens them. So use it. Let it fuel your focus. Let it purify your path. Let it remind you, not everyone deserves access to you, and silence is the loudest message of all. 15. Rewrite the story. Most people get rejected, and they break. They sit in silence, replaying what went wrong. They ask themselves, was I not enough? Did I say something wrong? Why did they choose someone else? That's the wrong story. That's the story you were trained to believe, a story that keeps you small. Now it's time to rewrite it. You weren't rejected. You outgrew something that wasn't meant for you. You didn't get pushed out. You walked away from a situation too limited for your future. They didn't disqualify you. They exposed themselves. They showed they didn't have the depth to see your value. They didn't have the strength to stand beside someone like you. And that's not your loss. That's their limitation. Understand this. Greatness doesn't beg. Leaders don't chase. And power doesn't apologize. You are not here to be chosen. You are here to become so powerful they regret not choosing you. So what's the new story? You didn't get rejected. You got redirected to something bigger, sharper, stronger. You didn't fail. You leveled up. This is your rebirth. No more crying over doors that closed. You're not looking back, because every setback is just a setup for a higher standard. And if they couldn't handle you before, they won't even recognize you after this. 16. Become unreachable. Most people are easy to control. Say something nice, and they smile. Say something harsh, and they break. Give them attention, and they follow. Take it away, and they chase. They're emotionally available to everyone, and that makes them predictable, weak, reachable, but that's not you anymore. You don't chase peace. You chase clarity. You don't crave approval. You crave focus. You don't react to every insult. You don't flinch at rejection. You don't respond just because someone pressed your buttons. Because now, your buttons are gone. You're not here to be liked, understood, or validated. You're here to win, with silence, with strength, and with strategy. Let them praise you. You stay calm. Let them insult you. You stay calm. Let them ignore you, still calm. Because the goal isn't to be accepted. The goal is to be unshakable. Your mind is locked. Your emotions are still. Your actions are deliberate. You are no longer a puppet they can play with. You're the chess master, watching from above, cold, calm, calculated. And eventually, they stop trying to shake you. They stop trying to control you. They stop trying to get a reaction. Because they realize one thing, you've become unreachable. 17. This is the final transformation. You don't just walk differently now. You exist differently. You're not trying to prove yourself anymore. You're not trying to fit in. You're not waiting for permission. You've already given it to yourself. People can feel it. In the way you enter a room, in the way you carry your body, in the way your eyes stay calm, even when things get loud. You don't chase power. You are power. You don't ask for attention. You make people pay it. You don't demand respect. You command it through silence, presence, and strength. This is no longer about words. or gestures, or temporary motivation. This is about a permanent shift, a version of you that is rooted, unbothered, and focused. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to explain your worth. You don't even need to speak to be heard. Because now, you shape the room. You decide the rules. You set the tone. This isn't just growth. This is your final transformation. You've arrived. 18. You are not rejected. You are reborn. Rejection breaks those who crave approval. But you've changed. You no longer see rejection as a loss. You see it as information. It didn't mean you weren't good enough. It meant you were too available, too easy to reach, too open to people who didn't deserve access. You gave too much. You gave too soon. You stood in places where your presence was taken for granted. But now, you've seen the truth, and that truth has rebuilt you. You no longer beg for attention. You withdraw it. You no longer explain yourself. You let silence explain everything. You disappear, not in sadness, but in strategy. Not in defeat, but in power. You don't come back the same. You come back sharper, more focused, more intentional, and unreachable. Now they may look for you, but you're gone. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You're not the same man they once ignored. You've been reborn. You don't seek revenge. You don't send messages. You don't even wish they understood. Because now, even if they try to reach you, they can't. You're too far ahead, too high up, too evolved. Rejection didn't break you. It revealed you. It forced your transformation. And in that fire, you became someone new. You're no longer waiting at the door. You've built your own and locked it behind you. 19. Build in silence. Return with power. True power doesn't make noise. It doesn't post updates. It doesn't seek attention. It builds in the dark. While others chase praise, you chase progress. While they perform for applause, you prepare for dominance. There was a time you needed approval, a time you explained yourself, a time you asked, "Do you think I'm ready? Does this look good? Do you think I can do it?" But now, that version of you is gone. You're not here to be noticed. You're here to be undeniable. You don't need to tell people who you are. They'll feel it in your walk, steady, strong, purposeful, in your eyes, calm, focused, unshaken, in your silence, because it carries more weight than words ever could. The same ones who once doubted you will now feel the shift. You don't need to scream for respect. You command it just by showing up. They'll wonder, what changed? But you won't answer. You've outgrown the need to explain, because while they talked, you built. While they laughed, you trained. While they ignored, you transformed. And now, you don't chase the seat at the table. You build the table. You own the room. You don't follow the standard. You become it. You don't need to be seen. You become unavoidable. You don't ask anymore. You decide. You've earned your silence. Now they will hear it louder than words. You build in the shadows. Now you return in power. 20. Final command. You've spent years chasing approval, chasing peace, chasing the version of yourself that never quite felt enough. You obeyed rules you never agreed to. You asked questions instead of giving commands. You feared judgment more than failure. But that version of you is gone. Now, you don't chase. You attract. You command. You decide. You're no longer afraid. You've looked your fears in the face and didn't blink. You've felt rejection and kept walking. You've been ignored and didn't beg. You've been insulted and didn't react. And through it all, you grew colder. You grew sharper. You became unstoppable. You are no longer the servant. You are the weapon. Calm under pressure, precise with your words, deadly in your silence, focused in your mission. They can't read you anymore. They can't predict you. And soon, they won't be able to ignore you. Like this video if you're done waiting. Subscribe if you're ready to become a man they can't control, can't predict, and will never forget. This is not self-help. This is not motivation. This is war. And you are no longer asking for power. You are the power. You are the weapon. The world has no idea what's coming.